So here we are with Ben Moore at Ben's Bees. So we're going to have a little chat, a little interview like we always do on bees, how important they are and much more. And then we're going to go out to the field and do some work with bees. So how you going, Ben?
Good, Heath. Thanks so much for having me on board, mate. I'm super excited for this interview.
Thanks, mate. First of all, we're going to get straight into it. Your name is obviously Ben Bees, the name of the business.
Yes, yeah, it certainly is. So obviously I'm Ben. I'm Ben, not Benjamin.
Yeah.
so yeah.
And how long has the business been going for, Ben's Bees?
Good question. So how I started keeping bees was very interesting. I was 14 when I said to Mum and Dad,
Wow,
I don't want a puppy or a kitten, I wanted a beehive.
Really?
So I was a little bit crazy. I was an only child, so I had to create my own entertainment.
Yep.
So I started keeping bees when I was 14. Actually, they made me save up my own money, which was $60 back then, as opposed to now, which is worth $550.
Oh, wow.
So I started keeping bees and getting into that wonderful world. I was never influenced by beekeepers,
Yep.
which was really sort of interesting. A lot of beekeepers, who have businesses as commercial keepers, of the bees is they usually go down as far as their parents, their grandparents. It's a generational type industry.
Yeah.
For me, I'm first generation. So these bees got them and I had them ever since. But as far as a business, since 2016.
2016. And before that, Ben used to work at Amazing Amazon for a very long time, which is a pet shop here in Melbourne, Victoria. And used to breed snakes too, I'm pretty sure.
I certainly did, yeah. I was right into it. So I don't keep any herps anymore, but I was right into it, Heath, because, and I loved both the balance, because working that sort of, classic sort of Monday to Friday type job, I did work some weekends, but, and 9 to 5, it worked really well because I could do me bees as well. So I worked both. But yeah, no, I was actually known back then as the colubrid king.
That's right.
I was breeding successfully time after time, multiple clutches, keelbacks, slaty greys, the various colour morphs.
One of my favourites, the old slaty grey, as we've seen at Barry's not too long ago.
Oh, he's got a slaty grey. They're awesome.
Got one, yeah. I mean, they're pretty rare out there. Not many people have them at all here in Victoria. And I love them. I think they're a beautiful snake. I love the shine, the blue tinge. And just how they're up there in the rainforest, skirting along the ground there, just fantastic.
And they sort of look semi-venomous too.
Yeah, they do.
Which is cool and interesting.
So, how important are bees? Because they are very, very important to the ecosystem. And even though I do reptiles and other wildlife, I include bees as much as I can at schools and doing wildlife shows because they're so important, and people just don't know how important they are, not just to the ecosystem, but for us to be able to live and eat. Is that right?
100% Heath. So humankind, when we look at bees, so bees are worth, in Australia alone, they're worth approximately $6 billion a year.
Wow.
$6 billion. Now, that's not for the honey. I think the honey's only worth about $30 million. It's actually the pollination, because 1 in every 3 mouthfuls of food that we eat has been pollinated by a bee. So I encourage the viewers to look at their breakfast, lunch and dinner. The bees that influence nearly everything that you eat. So they're so important in that aspect.
So obviously they pollinate fruit trees. Is that right? They go around pollinating all your fruit trees. So if we didn't have bees, that wouldn't happen, and we wouldn't have fruit. Just a basic thing like that.
That's right. And even certain things like almonds, they're solely pollinated by the European honeybee. And things like apples, pears, oranges, your citrus, berries, all from blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they're all pollinated by bees. Zucchinis, pumpkins. You go to the supermarket. Wow. If you go to the supermarket and you look at it, there's approximately 100 different fruit and vegetables, 70 of them have been pollinated by bees.
70%?
70% of those.
Wow. So I didn't even know that much. I mean, that's just incredible. And that's really good education here. And talking about that, do you educate? Do you go to schools and stuff like that?
I certainly do. So go to schools from kindergartens to secondary colleges, probus clubs. They're always good. I gotta love the oldies, And so I do all
the
those.
good thing, I love working with old people that have got great stories to start off with. And second of all, they can give you vital information. This snake was around back then and it's not now. Why is that snake not here now? And stuff like that. So I find it's very educational, even for people like us, to hear these stories and to see how different things were 40 years ago, 50
Oh,
years ago, environment-wise.
I agree.
In the areas that we live in, the suburbs.
It's almost like a world once gone. You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
just changing in obviously environmental conditions and the weather patterns and things. Totally agree.
And that's the other thing with the environment, climate change. Is it affecting the bees, and how bad?
Yes, it is. Yeah, no, it really is. And particularly one of the biggest reasons why bees are in decline around the world is actually the pests and diseases that they get.
Okay.
So they get everything from fungal infections, bacterial, viral, absolutely all these issues. And then you've got these pests. Varroa destructor is a really nasty pest, and what it does is it sucks the blood, or actually hemolymph, of the hemolymph is like the invertebrate's blood, and it sucks that and transmits these viruses and diseases, and it really, really affects the bees.
Wow. And that's all through the world, not just here.
All through the world, except Australia is the only continent not to have Varroa destructor, which we are lucky.
And is there any threat of us getting that from overseas, from travellers?
100%. So coming to New Zealand of the year 2000, and how it happens, very interesting, is a hobbyist beekeeper was abroad in Europe, and he brought back a queen bee, which comes in a little cage with a few escort bees.
Yep.
And it had Varroa. He thought he was going to do something by having this different strain of bee, and he didn't know, and he'd done the wrong thing.
Yep.
And anyway, that was the reason why Varroa come into New Zealand. Now, we do sometimes have incursions where a shipping container might come from overseas. There'll be a feral hive underneath. There was one of 2018 of June. Luckily, it was winter. It was a shipping container coming from Texas. And the captain called it in. He was 7 kilometres out of port, and luckily that was destroyed, and it had Varroa destructor in it.
Who destroys? Who does that? Is it? Do you guys get called up, or people like you, or is it border security? Who
Good question, Heath. It's actually biosecurity. So so I get called out for swarms, which I love doing. But it's always in an urban environment. But they have these little zones around the ports in Melbourne.
Yep.
So if there's any swarms that are caught there, they treat them as suspicious, and they have the biosecurity team.
Because it's close to the port.
Exactly. Yep. Yes.
Awesome. I was thinking about that the other night. I knew this interview was coming up, and I'm right into security and health and safety, so I thought I'll ask that question.
Yes.
And America, USA is pretty devastated with their bee problem over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So it was over a decade ago, Heath, that they had this phenomenon. It was called CCD, which stands for Colony Collapse Disorder. And that was absolutely up to 80% of the bee colonies just died, wiped out, gone. And so there's these massive issues there. So now, luckily, it was all linked with multiple things, but it usually went back to this Varroa destructor. And it's usually the pests and diseases why bees are in decline. Obviously, sprays, herbicides, fungicides, pesticides play a part in that, but it was actually this particular viruses and all these issues that this particular mite had.
Wow. And I do see awesome programs in places like New York having beehives on top of the buildings getting the community involved. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is, Yep. Well, the awareness, people are becoming more aware of keeping bees. You're doing something good because of pollination. So forget the honey and all these wonderful things that bees actually make. But it's so interesting that, you can keep a beehive in your backyard. You know what I mean? And I help people with bees on the rooftops. Some people, I've got a client in Kew in the inner city of Melbourne.
Yep.
He's got his bees on his balcony, and he can successfully do it.
That's awesome. So you got fresh honey. So honeys, there's so many use for honey. What's some of the uses that you're aware of and that you use and sell and promote?
Yeah, so when we think of honey, there's a classic Australian snack, usually at kids' parties and things, is the honey joy. So that's like cornflakes.
Oh, yeah.
We all know those. Honey joys, absolutely amazing.
I love them.
We all do, even as adults. But what is really interesting is honey, pure natural honey, even for someone's garden, can have these medicinal qualities. And I was using honey back in the ancient Egyptian times as a medicine. Now, it was used if you've got a cut, a sore, or an ulcer. The honey was applied topically on the outside, and that would help kill the bacteria and stop any infections. Now, where we're seeing a lot of this is Manuka. Manuka. Now, I believe you're from New Zealand, aren't you?
Well, I'm born and bred here, but half Maori.
Half Maori,
half
okay.
New Zealand, and we've got land and property there that's been in our
awesome
family for generations.
That's cool.
Now, I don't know much about Manuka.
Yes.
Manuka. Yeah, go for it.
Yes. So with Manuka, or the correct
I know
pronunciation?
it costs a lot more.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you eat it or if it's more for this sort of stuff that you're talking about. So
Yes.
yeah, that's what we'll get into.
Yes, Manuka, or the correct pronunciation in Maro is Manaka, is the correct word.
That sounds perfect.
Yes. So it actually comes from a special tea tree. And this particular tea tree, the botanical name is called Leptospermum scorparium. And basically the bees collect it, and what they do is it has this magical ingredient called MgO, which stands for methylglyoxal. And this is where it's antibacterial. Now there's different grades of it. There's a low grade and there's a really high grade.
Yep.
But the higher concentration of this MgO, the better antibacterial, antifungal, and it's got these properties in there. Now, a classic example is, like diabetic ulcers.
Yep.
Yeah, or golden staph. Right, so golden staph, antibiotics often won't work, where this Manuka will actually work and cure that infection.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is science too. Science.
And is it just a matter of people getting the honey, the Manuka, the Manuka, and rubbing it on them, or do doctors prescribe something that's made from a lab?
It's actually, no, you can buy it at shops, so even pharmacies are now selling it, but the higher the grade. But the trick is there's a lot of misconceptions and all these things because of this grade system. So there's like an NP value, which is non-peroxide activity. You've got this MgO. You've got this UMF.
So it can get pretty
tricky.
And to be honest, sometimes that can put people off, because then they start thinking, well, hang on a minute. Honey's honey, but obviously people with these conditions would go the extra step to learn about it and learn about the grades.
That's right, exactly.
But yes, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. And just having I guess the thing is, if it's
it's basic knowledge once you get into it a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right, Heath, exactly. And it's just having generally speaking, the higher the dollar's value, the better it is. But you got to make sure it can be trusted, because honey is one of the most fraudulent food items in the world.
Well, my next question is supermarket honey, that basically, as far as I know, there's not much, syrup and sugar. Is that correct? Some of the brands?
There is some of the brands are like that, and there was a big case just relatively recently where there's some fraudulent honey come through, but it's all been sort of tightened up now. So there are good brands. There are good brands like, in Australia, Beechworth Honey's a brilliant brand.
Yeah, they've been going for a very long time.
They're honest, reputable. They're based here in Victoria.
I'm sure it's a family business.
It's a family business. Yes, Beechworth. Yeah. So really, really good there. But then the thing is, though, you're going to buy honey, is buy it from your local beekeeper. So no matter where you are in the world, your local beekeeper. Then you're creating that relationship with the beekeeper, and that's super important, Heath.
Absolutely. And I brought, was it 1.5 jar?
Yes,
Is it 1.5 kilo?
1.5 kilos?
Jar?
Yes.
Yeah, we brought about 6 or 8 of them, and
You still got it, or is it all gone?
Half it's gone. But before that, I think I came to your house and picked up a whole bucket load. Well, we live on honey, so we have it for breakfast, lunch, and tea, and we actually do use it for sores and stuff like that. So we are aware of how good honey is. But Bees honey, not being biased, is the best. I'm telling you, absolutely beautiful.
I'll tell you something though. It's the bees do all the work. I just steal it from them.
And take the credit. Awesome. So we're going to move along, and important flowers. So if people wanted to attract bees, just to see bees at work or to help bees out with pollination and stuff like that, I think I've seen a few things on TV and through the media on how people can help out the bees in the environment by planting certain flowers and fruit trees. What sort of flowers or fruit trees would you put in your garden if someone wanted to do that?
It's a super important question, that, because it's very important that bees need two things. Right, primarily, obviously, for honey. It's obviously pollen, which is their protein, but they need nectar. So what they need is things that produce a lot of nectar. So a lot of your herbaceous plants, mint, oregano, thyme, rosemary, lavender. Lavender's a classic.
Wherever lavender is, you got bees.
You got bees hovering around it.
I love the smell of lavender. Yes. I love the look. It's got its own little.
It's fantastic.
medication
Yes,
properties.
that's right, and
Lavender.
it's like a beacon because bees see in ultraviolet lights, and those particular purples and violet colours, bees just hone in on it because they can see that as the predominant colour.
So flies have unique eyes. Do they have the same sort of eyes as a fly?
Yeah, they certainly do. So
yeah.
they've got the compound eyes and the ocelli as well.
Okay,
that's right. Yeah,
so that's
5 eyes.
5 eyes.
Yes.
So it's good eyesight.
Good eyesight. Exactly.
Awesome. And flowers, is it like roses or is anything like that?
No, that's a good question.
No nectar?
No, so certain things are good for nothing for bees.
Yep.
Roses is a classic one. It smells nice and we think it's going to be good, but roses are not that good. So, but what they do love, and this is why bees, the European honeybees, are so successful here in Australia, is because of our natives. You know, we look at eucalyptus, over 700 different species, Banksias, Proteas, Grevilleas. They all just ooze nectar, and the bees just love it.
What about pink heath?
Pink heath, yes.
Yeah, I love the heath family.
Yeah, that's yes, yeah.
Not named after me, but that's all right. Heath miner isn't either, but that's all right.
Yes.
It sounds good. It's got my name. Also, I'm pretty sure is it like 21,000 different types of bees in the world or something like that? Or?
There's heaps. When we look at it globally, over 20,000 different species. Most of them are actually solitary. But what's interesting is we've got 1,654 native bees in Australia.
1,654. You are kidding me.
They're described ones.
So there's still some out there that's...
Still some fun. And they've just recently found a bee, they call it the cloaked bee. They just recently found that. It hadn't been discovered since 100 years ago, almost 100 years.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's been there the whole time, it's just hiding.
Just hiding, because a lot of them are cryptic. You know, they're a solitary bee, not a social type insect.
Yep.
So their behaviour is very different, and obviously the weather as well, and very seasonal too.
Okay, so we're going to go into the venom. I love venom. I love working with it. I love talking about it. I love educating about it, doing workshops and all that sort of stuff. Now, if someone gets bitten by a snake, one of the things was keep that person calm by saying more people die from bee stings and snake bites, which is true.
It's true. Yes,
but
yeah.
No matter what you say to someone that's been bit by a snake, it's not going to calm them down.
Yes.
You're better off saying nothing.
Yes, that's true. Exactly.
When someone tells you to be calm when you've been bitten by an Australian venomous snake, I think it's going to do the opposite and really not make him calm. But anyway, that's another topic and story. How potent is the venom? And we do have a lot of deaths. I'm allergic to jack-jumper ants.
Oh, really?
Anaphylaxis. So I got into anaphylactic shot 5-6 times now. I've nearly died.
Oh, wow.
Heart goes up, heartbeat goes up, blood pressure drops, and I crash. I get a rash, I puff up.
Okay.
Happens within about 3 minutes. So
really?
It's usually ambulance, EpiPens, and
Wow.
in hospital. How potent is it? Do you know the toxic level?
It's very interesting you sort of talk about that. So I'm lucky. You know, people ask me the question, how many times have you been stung before, Ben? I tell you now, it's tens of thousands of times. I no longer feel bee stings on my hands.
Wow.
I don't get any reaction, hardly at all. Sometimes on my eyelid,
Yep.
it'll get a tiny bit puffy, but so it's very minimal. But like anything, like you and the jumping jacks, people can be allergic to bees. Now, particularly, they can be allergic to bees and not European wasps because the toxicity of the protein in their venom is very, very different.
And the jack jumper is pretty much a wasp
Yes.
with legs, same family,
So that's
closely
right.
related.
That's right.
And I'm not actually allergic or sensitive or anything to bees, as far as I know.
Okay. Well, we'll find
it
out.
It hurts, and that's it. But yeah, so that makes
Yes, yeah.
sense, which I
Yes.
didn't know. That it's totally different with the bees and with the wasps.
Yes,
it makes
yeah.
perfect sense. To
It does,
me.
yeah. And some people are allergic.
And this is good because we're going to be around a lot of bees soon, and I brought extra EpiPens just in case.
Yes, yeah.
Should be all good.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So some people are allergic, anaphylactic, but most people swelling and having a decent swelling is completely normal. You know, sometimes someone gets stung on the face, their eye closes over. You know, I mean, we're allergic.
And pets. We'll go on to pets. I've seen a lot of pictures of dogs, especially.
Yes.
Like snakebite, it always seems to be around the nose because that's where they're sniffing and picking up senses and stuff like that. It is a bit cruel, but also a bit funny. I've seen some pictures where the dogs are just
like all
exactly, poor things.
I know exactly. Just like looking
I will, it did make me giggle.
Yeah.
Sure, you put put one on Facebook.
Yeah, I did,
a while ago,
yeah.
different dogs and
That was kind of
the reactions.
funny and sad and serious all at the same time.
But good for education too. You
Yes,
know, you
yes.
got to watch your dogs.
That's right.
And does that happen much? Do you get a dog going to a hive on someone's property backyard, ripping it apart or anything like that?
No,
or is
not
it just
really.
more...
No. The only issues that's happened when it comes to beehives is usually, believe it or not, deer. We've got a lot of feral deer, and what happens is they can knock over the hives because the big stags.
Yeah, absolutely. They go against the trees and scratch and all sorts of stuff.
Exactly.
Wow. Places around Australia or overseas have you been to study or work with bees?
Yeah, so I've been lucky. I've been in excess of 30 different countries.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Working with bees.
Fantastic.
So everywhere from Vietnam with the Asian honeybee, right through the islands, Switzerland, absolutely everywhere, New Zealand. I've been everywhere. So I've been lucky and fortunate enough to do so much time. And it's about learning. You know what I mean? I'm just hungry and thirsty to
always learning.
knowledge.
With animals, the environment.
Exactly.
Always learning. Always learning.
Exactly.
Always absorb everything. And then take it back and work out if you want to use it or not.
Oh, that's right.
Believe in
Exactly.
it. But,
Exactly.
different strokes for different folks. So I really believe that there's more than one way to do something. There's not just a right way and wrong way. There's right ways and wrong ways.
Yes.
I think there's so many different. You know, I'm not
100%.
sure about the bee business, but definitely with snakes,
exactly the same.
demonstrating.
Yep.
So I'm always saying be open-minded, especially if you're learning and you're studying and stuff like that.
Yes.
If you could go anywhere in the world to do sort of like a working holiday to learn more and have fun with bees, where would you pick?
I'm thinking sort of like somewhere like Yemen, Egypt, you know what I mean? Because a lot of beekeepers over there, and they have very interesting struggles with temperatures and so forth.
With Egypt, I mean, being family businesses passed on, wouldn't some of them people be from passed right down from back in the day?
Oh, who knows? It'd be amazing to find out. Exactly.
It'd be pretty awesome.
Oh, exactly. And particularly as a cultural type thing, you know, it's just so diverse and rich with history. So if I'm going somewhere, it's going to be one of those Arabic countries.
And it's good. Bees relate to certain animals relate to kids more than others. And bees are always on Play School or something like that. Characters, teddies, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the honey that kids eat in the morning or something like that. But I find certain lizards, certain animals really appeal to younger kids, or the media puts it in front of kids, and it's never snakes. It's a bummer.
Interesting.
But it always seems to be blue tongues, where over in America it'll be like bearded dragons, but bees are up there with stuff like that, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. You're looking at them as so important. So obviously on as I said before, with the pollination, you know what I mean? And particularly bees, you stop and look at a bee, it does look cute. Look at it, little eyes, little furry body, just looking at you. They are cute.
Yeah, absolutely. And to finish off, we're going to go through some products. So thank you very much for all that information. We've got a lot more to do today, and it's going to be fun times here for me and Ben and my cameraman over here. Hopefully we're all good with the bee stings. You will be. I don't know about me. But we're going to go through some products. So what we'll do is we'll stop for now, and we'll be back in a flash with some products.
Awesome.
And this is the honey I was talking about. Look at that big, massive jar. Awesome. So cool. All right, so let's go through some of the products, and then also you've got your awesome book here, which we're going to go through as well. But over to you, mate. What have we got here, and what are you using for?
Yeah, certainly, Heath. So as far as, obviously we know honey, bees produce honey, but what's interesting as well is beeswax. Now, beeswax have been using since the dawn of time almost. You know, they've found that in Pharaoh's tombs, which goes back 3000 BC. Now, which makes a couple of things. They used to embalm the bodies, the mummies, but of their dead, but also candles, because you can actually make it burns pure. Because the issues with a lot of candles, like soy-based candles, have paraffin wax in it, and that's based on petroleum. So you're burning something not pure. So you're actually putting chemicals. Where beeswax burns pure, you can make things like soaps. which is awesome because they're natural, really good as a moisturiser for your skin. Now these, on the environment side of things, these are becoming super popular. These are the beeswax wraps. So it's fabric which has been dipped in beeswax and jojoba oil. And what happens is you use it as an alternative to Glad wrap or plastic.
Oh, okay.
So when you look at, say, Glad wrap for wrapping food,
Yep.
it's made PVC, polyvinyl chloride. It can take 400 years to actually decompose. Where beeswax wraps, you can reuse them, so they're environmentally safe and really good. You can compost them after you finish with them. And so it basically creates a seal just like Glad wrap. Plus, and doesn't it smell nice?
Oh,
if only the viewers could smell.
They all smell nice.
It doesn't.
It's not overpowering. It's just a refreshing and
natural smell.
Taste.
And natural smell.
Natural. So yeah, that one's fantastic. I love the packaging. The packaging is fantastic on these products. Did you do all the packaging?
Yes. Obviously, it'll help. It's with my graphic designer. So do this and try to keep it simple because it's even though my name is Ben's Bees. I'm about obviously supporting bees and helping people. The bees don't work for me. I work for them. Is the way I see it, and I just love helping the community and people with bees, and obviously the awareness as well.
Absolutely, and I find people working with animals, any sort of animals that have that sort of mind frame, and I have the same sort of mind frame. I love helping the environment, love helping people, love animals, love educating. Gets my tick of approval. Any company like that, any people like that, just fantastic. No matter what they do. It's great to be passionate like that. And so that's your honey. Now, what size honeys do you have?
Yes. So I do actually a little one from 120 little gram, a little wee little jar, and that's perfect for bombonieres. Now, there's a word, bombonieres. It's actually what a bomboniere is. It's a French and Italian word. Is actually for like giving gifts, and a classic example is at weddings. So I help a lot of people with weddings. It's like a little gift, because honey is sweetness, it's prosperity.
True.
So I use a lot of.
I remember the old days. They used to have the little white bag with almonds. The icing coated almonds.
Marzipan.
And I can tell you now. Here's the story. I love my lollies and stuff like that, and my mum and dad's wedding almonds were sitting there for years as I was growing up. I was just looking at them as a kid, year after year. I'm thinking, would it be off? It'll be nice and sweet. There's no lollies at the moment, and I just left it alone. And then it had been years, over 10 years, and I went, well, I'll try one, and I actually ate one. I actually ate them all.
Did you?
Got in trouble, but they were fine. So I think the icing or
must have preserved
coating,
it.
Sugary coating preserved it. But funny.
Funny story.
Don't try that at home. Nuts can be deadly if they're off. Now your book, which is totally awesome. Tell us, grab a book.
Yes. So
tell us about your book.
Yeah, so Heath, I was super excited because it's for the love of bees, and that's what it is. This is a book. It's not a how-to book as far as so forth. It's got some very funny things. It's educational, inspiring. It's my story, my journey, but more importantly, it's the importance of the bees. And as I said, funny things like, do bees fart? And there's the answers in the book. So, and it's printed in Melbourne.
If they do fart, I reckon it would smell nice.
Yeah, it would do, exactly.
But I'll read one tonight because Ben's actually going to give us a signed one. So thank you very much for
pleasure.
that.
No worries at all.
And I'll find out if bees fart and let you guys and girls know. Any other products that you haven't got here? Because I know you do beehives. Do you bring beehives in, or do you make them? How does that work?
Yeah, so in regards to the hives, Heath, so I actually do it all. So we make them, so I've got a couple of helpers, and we make the hives, and we do the bees, and actually I sell the bees as well. So I enjoy doing that because people getting into bees, there's this, you see their minds just like, wow. And it'd be the same as with snakes. People go, wow. Absolutely. You see them looking, and their minds are ticking over. So you can keep them in your backyard. So, and completely fine and safe to do. You just need to be registered through the Department of Prime Industries in Victoria. Each state's got its own legislation, but it's free and it's really easy to do.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Ben.
Thanks,
it's been an honour being
awesome.
here.
Thank you.
We've got a big day ahead of us. We're going to go out in the field to another location of Ben's and play around with some cool bees. So thanks very much, mate.
Thanks, Heath.
Cheers. So it's a
look at this.
massive
Look at this.
business.
Look at this. This one's about to hatch. Look at this one. You see, look at that. It's just about to hatch. There's a bee. It's just about to come out. Look, watch it. It's going to come out. How cool is that? You can see.
Wow.
She's just chewing that little wax, just the outside of the wax.
So it's being born from inside the wax?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that
inside
what
the
you're saying?
cell. Yes, here she comes. Oh, look at this. How cool is that? So she'll live for about, during springtime, 40, 50 days. You know, sort of 2-3 times longer than over winter because they don't forage as much. But what will happen is basically her little wings will die. She ends up as a forager, collecting generally the propolis, water, nectar, or pollen. And you can look at that there.
Trying to wiggle its little
Yeah,
way out. So this is its first bit of life right here.
That's right, yes. And what happens is she starts off as a nurse bee. So she actually will help part of the cleaning, and then she goes up into the ranks of being a forager. We're going to give her a little. We can give her a little hand. So she's almost out. Look at that. How cute is that? Just like under the cutest things, Heath, aren't they?
Oh, they are. I mean, all critters, small and big.
Oh, small, but even
especially babies. I mean, I remember my wife saying, no matter what animal it is, even if it's like a so-called yucky one like a rat or something like that, anything that's a baby is so cute in the
it
animal
is, isn't
world.
it? It is.
And that's for sure. It really is, you know. Even those so-called yucky or ugly animals
exactly.
that people don't like.
Exactly. Here she is. Look. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Here she is. There she is. Look at her. She's just hatching. How awesome is that? Just right there. Just right there. Just above my thumb. She's almost out. Almost coming out. Look at that. She's still a bit wet. As you can see, you know, she's got to dry off her little hairs, and she's almost out of her cell. And it's just like, that's like birth. It's a birth of a bee. That's amazing. There she is.
It is there.
That is awesome. There she is. Look, oh, there you go.
Wow, fantastic. Put your finger there, mate. There it is there.
There she is.
Unfortunately, we don't have a good zooming in camera. We've only got the GoPro here, but at least we've got something. I'm sure with these new TVs people have out there or monitors, they can zoom in. But, you know, we did pick up the worker bees.
Yes.
We did pick up a newborn bee,
yes,
and
yes,
we
yeah.
did pick up the queen. So that's just fantastic, because sometimes we can see all that. So awesome.
Let's give her a little kiss for a wonderful life.
Ben just loves his bees so much. That's fantastic. And I just might get that one off me there.
If you just yeah, the trick is if you just I see it doesn't want to stink, so the trick is you just one off.
So this is what do you call it?
So this is a smoker. It's actually made in Australia, which is really, really super cool.
Look, anything made here, produced here, anything Australian, small Australian business, big Australian business, I love.
Yeah, that's right. It's called a Beco. And so what it is, it's basically it's a smoker. So it's how we calm the bees. So we put our media in there. I use pine needles. That burn goes through there, creates smoke from the buffles from underneath, and it pushes that cool smoke out.
That's fantastic. Look at that. I love my gadgets, anything to do with animals and wildlife and gadgets.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but and inventing gadgets, and obviously I've got my own hooks that we have developed and out there, which are doing really good. But yeah, so the name again of this company is
the Beco, made in Castlemaine. Bendigo, sorry.
Bendigo. Beautiful. Bendigo.